acquisition begins now. We're throwing chairs at Oddworld, new and tasty. From Just Add Water Games, it's a Unity remake of the original Oddworld Abe's Oddysee classic from the PlayStation era. Done entirely in Unity 3D. Oh my god. So you know it's just gonna chew up your system performance. You can pick it up for 18 wet, stinky American dollars. And yeah, if you've played the old world, if you played the old Oddworld games, you know exactly. Oh god, you know exactly.
Amazing.
See, that's new and tasty.
Amazing.
Speaking of new and tasty, cue the chair position.
Hang on, I gotta get
One
composed.
chair means
now.
that it's crap. 2 chairs means that it's pretty. Three chairs means that it's pretty good. 4 chairs means that it's amazing. And we also have our categories O'Doom, to which we throw these chairs.
I have the wrong ones, but tell them out.
1 chair mixed with the working shiny sounds, controls, and fun. Dear God, the train wreck! It just keeps going. So let's just kick this off and not linger on this anymore. Ven, Oddworld, make with the working.
Brother Svang, I gotta say, doesn't make with the working. We tested this on our Ubuntu 1404 LTS octo-core 980 powered 4K displayed box of the business, and it ran really. Everything worked from day one out of the box. Granted, nothing really worked right, but for the most part it was still playable, and this is the important part, because this game is not early access. This is full release, and that's what we're here for, to try to save you a bit of coin if that's not the case. So all that business said, I'm going to give it 4 chairs for mix with a working. J-Man.
Yeah, it up and started up. No real issue. I did run into one thing with the opening cinematics, or was really, really just choppy in terms of visuals, but everything else was fine. I mean, it's a Unity game, so it just chews up your system resources. If you have a little XFC monitor up at the top corner, it goes from like low to high. But it is a very good looking game, and that's what you're going to get for this sort of level of visual acuity. So 4 chairs.
Tested on what, Brother Svang?
Oh yes, tested on the Fedora 21 64-bit AMD 1090T NVIDIA 670 superclock box of business.
So that's 4 chairs, all right.
And on my Ubuntu 1404 64-bit on my octa-core 8320 with my HD 6670, I ran it with very little issues, except for when I started it up right after install, I had gotten a black screen and
Racist.
still had sound. But once I Alt F4'd and ran it again, it worked. So, and then I tried to do it, but it only happened when I'd first run it, when I'd restart the computer. So, which I found was weird. So I'm gonna give it a 3 chairs.
All right, so that is 3 chairs for mix with the working. Up next, Shiny and Sounds. Ben, was this new and tasty?
Despite being built with Unity, and I do mean despite, Brother Svang, this is pure eye candy. Seriously, everything is bubbling over with fantastic detail. You do have to keep in mind I'm playing the game at 4K, so, and everything's on 11. I mean, it looks proper amazeballs. But as you mentioned, why are the cutscenes fuck all busted? They are. They're there. I mean, your first introduction to this game is this jarring, even at 4K, and I got the FERPS counter in the right-hand corner, and it's saying, you're getting, 190, 200. And it's just jerk, jerk, jerk.
There's
rendered.
no excuse, too, because it's pre-rendered.
It's exactly pre-rendered. And this is supposed to be like something that is a little bit of a reward organ for finishing segments in the game. You get done and you're like, oh, here's a little bit more of the story, which I'm skipping because I don't want to watch. It's like, oh, I don't have time for that. And I'm probably missing out on little bits of the story. And here's the kicker. Open up the folder, find the files, play them with VLC, expand them all the way. Runs peachy, no issues whatsoever. And, well, like I said, the shinies perfect. They're amazeballs, and a lot of love went into this. It's just beautiful. But with the sounds, the atmosphere ties together. It's nice. I like that, but it genuinely won me over the first time. And Abe is sitting there, and you have the chainsawy smashy thing. It's like, okay, time. Boom. Violently destroys one of the baddies. And Abe giggles like a Catholic schoolgirl that just had sex for the first time but does not yet know she's pregnant. So, with the shiny and the sounds, I'm giving this 3 chairs.
With the sort of grimdark aesthetic that the Oddworld series has, you really gotta. It really just makes those Unity shadows pop out. They're just pure blackness, and it's like, Levi Bard, you tried and you failed. But the game looks very good for a Unity game. But I think we've discovered the way to make Unity games look awesome, and that is by not using any of the stock Unity assets because they all look like shit. The cinematics are beautiful once they actually play properly. The gameplay is actually very good looking. It looks like a proper modern take on the old Oddworld games. And the voice acting, very, very good. I never actually played the original Oddworld games. I think I played the demo for The Stranger on like a PlayStation 2 demo disc I got from official US PlayStation magazine way back in the day. So I can't really speak to the accuracy of the dialogue and whatnot, but it looks good and it sounds good. So 3 chairs.
And for me, like, it's Unity. Oh my God, Unity. I'm so tired of seeing Unity. But don't get me wrong, the game looks great. They did a phenomenal job remaking a lot of the graphics, and they really updated it. But Unity, come on. Okay, fun fact about the game. The game was originally being built in Unigine back in 2012, but then they changed to Unity because a lot of the editing commands that they had in, or the commands that they made in Unigine came by default in Unity, so they switched over to Unity. And plus, I'm also assuming because Unity was cheaper, so I could see it that way as well.
Plus, you get their awesome web player.
Yeah, but you can see, if you go on YouTube, you can actually find like the old videos, like if you look up Abe's Oddysee HD, that was the original tech demo that they did on Unigine, and you can see the difference between what they had done at that point and what they have done now.
We'll throw that in the show notes as well, just FYI.
Yeah. Yes, it's also in the show notes as well. Now, I remembered why, after playing this game, why I dislike the Oddworld series. Abe. I hate his fucking voice. I loathe it so much. But everything else was fine. All the audio was great. I remembered I hate Abe's voice. I hate it. He's annoying. Like an idiot. But, so, with all that aside, I'm going to give it 3 chairs.
I actually like the droopy dog Hans Moleman style voice, and it was the exact voice you were making not 30 seconds before we actually started recording this review, so make of that what you will. That's 3 chairs for shiny sounds. Up next, Control!
Okay, no more Sploogie the Ghost. Alright. Controls. Here we go. This is where shit starts to fall apart. Now, before the patch, as I said, you launched it, controller organ, using Ubuntu with the X-Clone. It worked. Mapping was fuck all whatever, but it worked. Or so I thought. The first patch added support for your X input, so that sorted everything. It took a few days, and now most of the mappings are there. You can even adjust that dead zone that a lot of people were going, raging about. I never had an issue with that. However, that means fuck and all, because I can't chat, babe. And as a prior of the chairs, chatting is absolutely something we never do, and it's very important to me. And when you mix that with half of the verbal commands missing, it is MT said he discovered a way to chant by using back, and I could never reproduce this. So mix those two together. That's called game breaking bugs? ? Yes, I do believe so. All I can give this for controls is 1 chair. J-Man.
Well, for the actual controls themselves, despite the fact that you can't communicate or chant, which is sort of a core game feature when your job is to rescue your little alien buddies, that doesn't really reflect well on your game. Aiming, if you want to throw grenades or rocks or whatnot, is fucking terrible because you have to depress the right analog stick and then aim and then use the bumper to fire, which is stupid. It's inaccurate and you end up blowing yourself up more often than not just because you're like, oh, little slip.
Oh, how many times did it take you to defuse that first mine?
Oh yeah, no, that was like, click on it when it turns green. Okay, it's green. Boom! What the fuck? Yeah, a lot of this game is basically just like monitoring the patterns and then just going at the split second when it resets, because that's the only way to succeed. Which it might be good platformer design. I don't know. The jump has an annoying delay. It kind of makes sense because he like swings forward and jumps like regular human jumps, but it's a bit awkward for, you know, a puzzle platformer. And running only seems to work when the game feels like it's necessary for you to run. I don't know, did any of you run into that where like sometimes you can run, sometimes you can't?
No, not
yes.
mine.
I found that. But that was only once in a while.
But yeah, so that gives it 2 chairs. The controls aren't entirely busted, but they're slightly busted. You can still play some of the game, but
I too, brethren, have had this issue with the controls. I found the controls were rather delayed, and I had to adjust my timing for a lot of the events into also adding an account to the delay after inputting my command. So I was not impressed with that. That actually pissed me off because I don't feel like equating, you know, new timings into it.
But then, Sandy, you could totally play this with a keyboard, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely, right?
You hated yourself.
Oh my god. So I decided to switch this to direct input.
What is this?
This is the Logitech F710. So it's
the
pretty
F
much
for
like
fuck you.
Yeah. Because fuck you, that's why. And so normally I play a lot of the games through X input because X clone, you know, that's what a lot of the games come out with. The key mappings were a little fine with obviously the chanting like Ven said earlier. That's one of the big ones.
Does it work
when
with
you
direct
said
input?
Direct input, there is 0. Like you're guessing on where the key maps are, so you have to rebind everything, but everything's still again based off of the Xbox controller. So even though this game is coming out for PS3, so I don't know why even if you have it on direct input it doesn't have a PS controller, which should also be a standard. But again, like it bothers me. And yeah, again with the chanting as Hodan, you know, get it? It's Hodor and Jordan. Fuck you guys.
That's stupid. You should get a vasectomy and not reproduce.
No. Too late. But like, yeah, the chant commands didn't work for up and down, which annoyed me, but left and right for me seemed to have worked. So I'm giving this 2 chairs.
Which totals to 1 chair for control. That's not looking good. Mm-hmm. And finally, our final subjective category, fun. Ben, did you have fun?
I wanted to, Brad. I really wanted to. Because, you know, we spent monies on this and the game was released. It's not early access. Not at all. There's no warning saying that these controls are busted not only on the Linuxes, but the OS X's. Even with a patch, they're working on it. But no. Until they fix my ability to chant and issue proper verbal commands, I'm not putting another mothering minute into this at all. I was Brad, I was having a genuinely good time with it until I realized I can't do some of the things I need to do to play the fucking game. But I'm going to give this an asteroid. I am, because if this gets fixed, and I have infinite faith that somebody on the development team is going to go, SDL2, dumbasses. It would be 3 chairs for fun. But in its current state, and that's what we're talking about, because there's no big warning sign up there that says, maybe you want to hold off and spend your monies, your wet stinkies, your quid, your dinero, your somewhere
your
else.
spadoinkles,
shekels even. Somewhere else until this game gets fixed. As opposed to giving them the money and going, I don't have a game I can work. You could be playing something fun. Until they do that. 1 chair. J-Man?
Yeah, someone really didn't QA this fucker, and that is unforgivable in this day and age. The puzzles are all right. They're challenging enough, but it's basically a lot of trial and error of you just dying and respawning and dying and respawning and dying and respawning as you figure out basically how you get the AI to behave. Plus, compounded with like the controls and with the delay, like Sandy said, it can get a bit annoying. There is the one thing where you have to like jump through the meat smashers, and I got the timing right, but my guy slipped, which he hadn't did before, and then he died. I was just like, fucking seriously. And speaking of seriously, how are you? Part of the game rates you on how many of your freaking brethren you save, which you can't do. So you're the bad key now. Actually, as of this review, I got stuck on this one spot where there's like a mine on the floor, and there's a drone and a motion detector and something or other. Or no, sorry, it was there is a mine you have to leap over. There's a guy with a gun, and I could not figure out a way to like
ducking
bypass him without getting shot. Ben explained, oh, you actually have to duck in the smoke. Oh, so there's a lot of stuff that you basically have to try again and again and again, and you'll get killed and you'll have to restart. It's really, really repetitive, and it becomes a grind. So, I mean, otherwise the puzzles are fine, and you kind of feel smart once you get past them. But it's not really doing it for me in its current state. Maybe once they fix all their stuff, it'll be a bit better. So I'm just going to give it 2 chairs for now.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. Okay, maybe I will. Controls really piss me off, especially when this game is planned to come out in the very, very near future to consoles. Like, this is something that you might want to sort out there, Johnson. Like, you might want to have this stuff sorted out, okay? But not everyone has one of those like Xbox controllers that they can use, so you can't have a diagram of an Xbox controller. Like, if you use proper SDL, it'll probably sort out the controller, and if you have an image set up for the controller, then guaranteed people can remap it properly to how you would expect them to do it. SDL2 is your friend, again. So, with everything about the controllers aside, I had little to no issues with the game. The story was great, as it was before. Like, the graphics are phenomenal. Same with the music. It's still great. And Abe is still my favorite little moron. And this game is a great visual remake, an audio remake of Abe's Oddysee. But funk those controls. 3 chairs.
All right, so that's 2 chairs for Foon. And if we tally that all up, the final score is 2 chairs for Oddworld. New and tasty, not unlike your mom. So, gentlemen, final thoughts?
I had to laugh. About an on before we started this, Empty and Frenchie were in chat room jerking each other off. And I giggled when, Frenchie said, oh, we should wait until all the issues are fixed before reviewing it. Bzzz, wrong. This is not early access, Brad. And one of the services that we provide is letting you know whether or not shite's busted. That's why we test it on different controllers, different systems, and all that. The mentality of someone's, I'm going to give you money and you're going to give me a broken product. But that's okay. I'm just going to wait until you fix everything because you didn't QA it properly. That makes me a good person. How does that make us a bad person? We're trying to save people from doing that exact same thing. Because I have no worries about them getting around to fixing this. But right now this game is busted. And there is no big blinking sign that says, hey, hold off. If it was me, I would pull the fucking Linux version and the Mac OS version off the market store. But yeah, you know, hey, maybe we can fuck some people into give us some extra money while we're working on it. Maybe you can, Brad. But if you're listening to this, maybe you shouldn't. Because we are here to tell you it's busted right now. Hold off. J-Man.
Yeah, that's really about it. I mean, we said the exact same thing with Octodad when it had its controller issues. It was a perfectly fun game after they had got that whole mess sorted out. But currently, when people are going to buy it at release, it's completely busted. Don't waste your money on this. We'll probably check back in with it next week just to give an update. Maybe update the score. Probably not. But you don't really watch these reviews for the scores, do you? You listen to what we have to say. That's the point of the chairs.
All hail the chairs. Anyways, take away this. A game comes out. You got money to throw at it. You're like, I'm a little excited. Then you see someone else come on here and say, hey, the game's great and everything, but controls are shit. Save your money. Put the game on your watch list. Wait until a patch comes out. They make an announcement and they say, hey guys, we sorted out the controller issues for Linux. Like, damn it. I keep saying it. But anyways, the big thing that you want to take away from this is that the controls really do break the game.